What's going on, y'all? This your boy MC.
Be the Ruckus here. What's up, everybody?
Alec, what's up?
And this is Word and Culture Podcast, man. And Joe Rogan, the biggest podcast in the entire world. He had a featured guest here. His name is Chad Wright. And he is an ex-Navy SEAL. I thought the conversation was pretty good, man. It was pretty interesting. He touched on a lot of things that people think about in the back of their minds, and that is what happens when you pass away to the afterlife, right? Super interesting. We're going to get into this clip, man. But of course, if you haven't done it yet, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, and also give this video the thumbs up, man. We got some more content coming your way. So let's go ahead and get into the video quickly.
Man, it's been a while, last month or so. Have you ever got to sit with anybody
while they're dying?
Important to you?
Not while they're dying.
I highly recommend it. It will teach you so much, man.
About what's important.
It has made me grow. Like, I don't know, man. It just gives me the daggone chills thinking about it. And the crazy thing is the type of person that I used to be, I would have thought, going and sitting with someone who's dying is a waste of time. Like, I got other things to do, right? You do too. We got busy lives.
Yeah, man. Man, it's definitely tough, man. When you got a family member or somebody that you love, going through that stage of transitioning to the afterlife, man. So interesting.
Yeah. It goes back to Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes talks about this, that it's better to go to the house of mourning than to the house like a party.
Yeah, house of feasting.
House of feasting. Yeah, it just gives you a different perspective that your life is but a vapor. It's a sombering thing, but I think it's a reality that we really do need to think about at times.
You're here today and gone tomorrow.
Yeah. I experienced death in many ways. Through my grandmother's past, saw my father-in-law die from cancer, and nothing puts a perspective on life, and nothing sobers you that this life is fleeting, like being close to death like that.
Yeah, man, definitely.
And it could do two things. It can destroy you, or it can lead you to Jesus. So death is definitely a bitter pill, but like he said, I highly recommend it because it'll give you a true taste of what real life is all about.
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. Let's keep listening to what he got to say.
Well, this man, he mentored me, hunting and everything, working, all that. His name was Don Tidwell. From the time I was about 13 to the time I left to go become a Navy SEAL. Well, I did my whole Navy thing. I got out. I reconnected with Don for a while, but then I started this company now that we have, 3 of 7 Project. Got busy. I have a curse from I have this unique ability to be able to forget you ever existed. When I get on some sort of mission and you're not part of that anymore, I can forget you ever existed. And so I lost touch with him because of my own selfishness, and been doing this thing for the last 4 or 5 years. Well, his wife called me and said, look, he just wants to see you one more time. He's got pancreatic cancer. He's got maybe 2 weeks left. He just wants to see you one more time. Whew. Good night, man. Took a lot of courage for me to go show up.
Isn't that kind of crazy, though? Because, this is a boy from way back in the days, and it's true. That happens to a lot of us, right? We sit there and, we continue with our lives, and we totally forget about the people that, were involved in our lives, and even close friends that were close back then, and then we just continue with our lives and we totally forget about these people. But it just so happens that it always happens in your deathbed or in their deathbed is when we actually remember the good times that we had with that person, right?
Yeah, very true.
I
was going to say, and it's insane because him being a soldier, he got to see firsthand stare death in his face, right, as a soldier. But it hits different when it's actually somebody that's close to you.
Yeah.
Right. You're behind enemy lines. You're taking people's lives away for a just war or an unjust war, whatever the case may be. But when it's your brother in arms that you're seeing face to face, it's very sobering. It's a sobering reminder
100%.
that, that you're not exempt from what life has to give to you as well. So
Yeah. And honestly, we shouldn't be waiting for people to be on their deathbeds to reconnect with them, to love on them.
Definitely.
Like he said it, we're very selfish people by default. And when we get locked in our missions, our tasks, our lives, our busyness, we kind of only want to interact with people that advance our agendas, that are part of what we want to do in our lives. And rarely do we take the time to love on people, especially people that maybe no longer have some kind of social benefit for you, right?
Yeah.
Just speaking strictly from the world, but as a Christian, we're called to love anybody and everybody.
1,000,000%. And his beard, bro, he reminds me of Dumbledore, of Voldemort from Harry Potter.
Him and sit down with him and say, Mr. Don, I'm sorry I haven't been the friend to you that you deserve. Will you forgive me? He's laying there dying. He looks back at me and says, son, there's nothing to forgive. I mean, just like, and then from that point, I'd go sit with him twice a week for 8 or 9 or 10 hours, just sit right there by his bed. I'd read the scriptures to him. He only had a 3rd grade education. We read about the gospel, and we read about the resurrection, and we read about creation. And the first thing that you learn, I think, when you sit with somebody that's dying is that death is the great foe that sits above mankind and scoffs at our wisdom. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He said that death is this great foe. It is the enemy that sits above us and mocks the wisdom of man. Mr. Don had built basically an empire within the community he lived in. He had made millions and millions of dollars as an entrepreneur. Couldn't read or write, but he still had to succumb to this process that's coming for all of us. Like, I don't know, man. That was like that just hit me. Like, we think we want to look up at the sky and we want to explain how the cosmos began, and we can't even solve our own biggest problem. We can't.
Yeah, it was a lot there, but
was
man,
amazing.
it's first and foremost, is very respectable what he did, though. He was going through scriptures while his friend was in his deathbed, and he went through the story of Christ through the Gospels and the resurrection, which is important for someone's salvation. So, man, this is isn't it amazing how God works?
Yeah.
I mean, the best thing you can, like you said, read to ourselves when we're reminded of death, when death is close, when you start smelling it, right? When you're in the room with it, is to remind people of the resurrection, right? And today we had a sermon on that, right? Where when Stephen, when death was approaching, instead of being full of fear around his circumstances, about the stoning that was about to happen, he looked up to heaven and saw Jesus standing at the right hand of God, right? The heavens were opened because he was so consumed that the resurrection was his life and his reality. And so death was just nothing but like a little power nap.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's true. What's was very interesting in our culture today is that one of the biggest things that people tend to market is longevity of life. You have medicine, you have facial cream, you have all these things in order to try to look younger. Because people want to live as long as possible. They want to escape the reality of dying, and it just gives a different meaning now when you read the scriptures and see what Jesus actually said. I am the resurrection and the life. You're looking for your resurrection everywhere else in your own power, but you can't stop it. But Jesus Christ himself says, I am that resurrection.
Yeah.
What you're looking for, that's me. So, death only stops when you surrender to the one who conquered it. And the only one who conquered it was Jesus Christ himself. So I mean, it's mind blowing, right? Like we can have all the answers to everything, but the one problem that we cannot solve is the problem of dying. And
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, the only man that came to this world, solved it for us. And all we have to do is just surrender to Him. That's it.
That's it.
It's very, very powerful thing, man. Very
Yeah.
powerful.
I mean, I hope I get to download my consciousness one day though to like a robot, like an AI robot.
It's not gonna happen, bro.
Nah, man.
Nah,
You don't think so?
I don't think we'll get there.
You never seen iRobot?
Yeah, but it's Will Smith, and we know about Will Smith.
I mean, is there
In
already
his personal life, right?
I mean, everything you're typing into AI right now is all being recorded, so you kind of have your consciousness in there a little bit. So
Yeah, listen.
it is what it is.
But definitely, we thought that this clip was extremely interesting.
Yeah.
You know, especially coming from I mean, not just the fact that he's a Navy SEAL, but also, you know, we all will experience this at some point, whether it's our deathbed or someone else's deathbed, you know. But the most important thing throughout it all is whether that person knows Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. You know, I think that's extremely, extremely pivotal in anybody's life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think the question for our viewers is, are you prepared to die?
Mm.
Are you prepared to die? Do you know what will happen when you die? You know, and if you don't know, if you're not assured, ask yourself why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really the question.
It was interesting. Our pastor talked about it in the sermon. Remember, he said that he loves going to people's deathbed when they're a believer because they see the joy.
Oh, man, it's joyful.
They see the joy in the person's eyes because they know they have an
Somebody gonna meet their
assurance of where they're
Savior.
going to go. But he hates the fact that he has to go to certain people's deathbed that don't know Christ.
Yeah.
Man.
Because they see them grasping for that last
Trying to
bit,
be
trying
here.
to stop it, but they can't.
You know, I'll never forget this. And I don't want to go on a tangent, but I remember a few years ago, my wife had a friend from high school. He was in a boating accident. It was actually this DJ from Miami. I forgot his name. He was driving the boat, and they turned on the boat while the guy was in the water, and it killed him. The propeller turned on, sliced him up.
Oh, wow.
And I remember going to that funeral with my wife because he was a friend of hers. And man, just like the wailing, you can sense the condemnation in the atmosphere, right? Because he wasn't a believer. So it was just sadness and weeping and just utter defeat. There was no hope because he wasn't a believer. His family wasn't a believer. There was nothing of Jesus going on. It was just, man, it was one of the saddest moments, I'll never forget it, of my life. And it's just that is what awaits the unbeliever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely
No
is
hope.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You know, most important thing is knowing Christ, living for Christ, and just make sure that your salvation is secure. Make sure that the afterlife is secure for yourself and your family, right? But yeah, I thought that the video was super interesting, man. Go ahead, subscribe, like, and we got way more content coming your way. So until the next one, deuces. Let's get it.
Tune in.
Peace.